Hello citizens of YouTube. It is me once again, Ms. Captain Marvel. I have recently heard about this horrible Netflix movie named Cuties. Apparently it is about a bunch of over-sexualized little girls that could be around the age of 10 to 12 years old. This is disgusting and Netflix should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this crap to get passed by. This shouldn't even have been considered a decent concept. This is sick and twisted. I'm also offended and upset at the directors who ever thought was a good idea to make this crappy movie. I haven't seen this, and I never will want to see this filth. It is a disappointment and disgrace. This would be wrestling otakus and black metal forever's biggest dreams to see this horrid movie. Anyways, I want to make a response to a YouTuber and a man named MrGirl. I believe that is how you say his name. Apparently he is defending this movie. May I ask why? What made you think you should defend this garbage movie? I'm going to give my honest thought about his video. If you are watching this, then so be it. Okay, without further ado, let's rock.
Hi Cuties. Guess what I just watched? So if you're not familiar, Cuties is a film that Netflix just bought from director Maimouna Doucouré. She's a French woman. And she made this film that has sparked some controversy. Maybe not so much the film itself, but a poster that Netflix made to promote it.
Wrong. It is the entire movie that is controversial. It is controversial because the movie is literally about little girls shaking their butts and being hypersexualized. It isn't just the poster itself, but the entire movie.
As you can see, it's a bunch of 11-year-old girls dancing provocatively. Now, people said that this was Netflix sexualizing children. Other people have said that the film itself is sexualizing children. That's basically akin to child pornography. And that it's, the pedophile left normalizing pedophilia as a legitimate sexual orientation. Hollywood, Pizzagate. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. And then other people are more, I think, in my opinion, sanely saying it's exploitative. It's exploiting children.
Being sexualized or exploiting children. It doesn't matter how you slice it, Ace. This movie was a bad mistake to be created. Nobody with a truly sane mentality would wish to sit back and enjoy a movie about little kids being sexual. This is the same problem that I have had with Little Girls in Terras or whatever that show was named. The show that had little girls being beauty pageants and looking very sexual. It's just creepy and wrong.
Even if you're making a movie that's about the exploitation of children, you could do it in a way that does not exploit children when you made it. So that's just a little background. That's why I ended up watching this movie. Now, it's a solid film. It's a good movie. Definitely better than most movies.
Dude, I get you are sharing your opinion about this movie, but sometimes in life, you cannot have an objective opinion about certain subjects or it'll make you look bad. This is one of them. Saying that this movie is a good or solid film is like saying, well, at least the KKK are very unified and aren't that bad of people. This movie sounds already bad to begin with, hence why everybody is trashing it left to right. This is like trying to have an objective opinion about Hitler and his motives.
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the movie itself, but right off the bat, just first impressions regarding the controversy. This film does try to make you sexually aroused by 11-year-olds. And I'll say it's not bad at it. It's not a total failure in that regard, at least for me. Your mileage may vary. I want to say that if you are concerned about people treating this as child pornography, there are probably thousands of people masturbating to this film as we speak. As far it's basically, and I'll put some shots, and I'll probably include footage throughout the whole review. But yeah, as far as like sexy music videos go, it's not bad.
Not bad? Ace, let me tell you something. This whole concept is bad. You are strongly aware that there's plenty of people out there that is masturbating to this movie. That fact alone is just sick and twisted, that there's adults finding sexual pleasure of seeing little young girls who aren't even teenagers doing sexual stuff. Then you just gloss over it. Come on. What the fuck is your problem? If you hear me being more colorful with the swearing, it's because this man is pissing me off as I'm getting this strange pedophile vibe about him as he keeps trying to defend this movie.
Are we live? Is this live? Oh, trigger warning. Honesty. So, is that part of an attempt by the filmmaker to provoke... I'll say this. I don't get the sense that the woman who made this film is... I think she just doesn't pull her punches. I don't think she's trying to titillate simply for the purpose of titillation. If she were, she probably would just cast adults.
This French woman is a disgrace to women everywhere by advocating a stupid move like this. She is either too stupid to realize that this movie is just wrong in all regards, or she is actually either a pedophilia sympathizer, or she is one herself. I hope it is the first option. Also, what the hell do you mean trigger warning? Your opinions are vastly flawed to begin with, Ace.
Make her life a lot easier. I think that the film is kind of roping you into the discussion of the sexualization of children by sexualizing children.
What the hell is that supposed to mean, Ace? People don't need this movie to know the pedophilia is wrong. Dead wrong. I'm sorry, but I do not need a movie about little 12-year-old girls dressed in mini shorts and shaking their asses to prove to me that pedophilia is just not good. Why are we discussing this? This shouldn't even be a discussion. Pedophiles are skims, period. There is nothing more or less about it. How are you going to say this movie was basically made to make people understand about over-sexualization? You're a moron.
And by making you complicit in that, because the camera forces you to ogle these 11-year-old girls. And so let's put the morality of that aside and just take her art at face value.
Hell fucking no, I will not take away my morals for any seconds, you idiot. This is reasons why I am a superhero to begin with. I have honor, integrity and morals. Some things that you seem to lack. If you'd had any of that, then this video wouldn't even existed, or it would have been more different. I refuse to take any morals away and view this as art. I view this as a piece of shit, just the way it should be viewed as. How dare this director take these poor little girls and make them play out this sick role of being sexualized little girls. I will find where this woman lives and me and her can settle this like grown women.
It's pretty interesting to be forced to do something. It's kind of like The Last of Us too. It's a great game.
The only thing interesting is how interestingly sick and pathetic you are. This movie is not interesting. It is just disturbing. In no way in hell will I force myself to watch this, unless if I hated myself, or if I actually am into sexualized little kids. Which will make me a pedophile. Gross.
To be forced to do something that you're uncomfortable with, and to have to grapple with what role you're playing in the creation of the culture that these girls are participating in.
Dude, it's just a damn movie. It isn't like a real-life tough situation that you may have to get yourself into, but find a way out of. This isn't like losing your home or dealing with a child molester. This movie could have been made a better way to paint out how wrong this type of behavior is, like a social awareness. This movie paints out as if it is glamoring little kids looking like dancing tramps. You even said it that this movie clearly is here to sexually please you, not to frighten you or make you aware of pedophilia, and why children looking like this isn't awesome. Every time I hear you keep defending this trashy movie, it makes me want to rip your head off your shoulders. However, I will not do that, but I will keep my eyes on you, just in case you do anything stupid and perverted to little kids.
And it's real. It's very realistic. I don't know if you've ever heard of the app TikTok. There's some pretty interesting stuff on there that, I've checked out.
Why yes, TikTok has the same kind of stuff too. But why does that excuse this movie from being creating to satisfy people's sick lust of little young girls being sexual? I've heard that President Trump is banning TikTok from America. I am not usually into banning anything, but being that TikTok has the same kind of sick stuff on there, then I firmly support you, Mr. President. Get rid of this disgusting app. Also, I wouldn't be surprised that you have went on there yourself. That app isn't even for adults, but people like you are on there either acting like one yourself or lusting over little cute girls or boys doing sexual stuff. You are once again pathetic.
And I recommend you check it out. Girls of all ages are dancing and guys are dancing like this. Dances have become more explicitly sexual.
The fact that you are defending this movie over a real-life app that has the same kind of problems makes you look suspicious. Just because TikTok does this, that doesn't mean it is okay for this movie to even exist. This is like saying, well, there's a lot of Nazis, so Hitler and KKK members must be okay.
But then, I listen to everybody saying these things, and I think we just sound the same as like old fogies did in the 50s and 60s.
What are you even talking about? So if people say this movie is wrong and complains about it, that means they're like old people from the 1950s. How on earth does that make any sense? Dude, you're sounding beyond ridiculous right now.
So, it's interesting to be kind of held accountable by the film, or maybe just informed. I don't know. The only so there's a scene where they're dancing on stage, and there are these judges that are like frowning, and like just people in the audience that are frowning. That's the only indication the film gives that this is odd or that they are overly sexualized, and it holds it back. And spoilers, I'm going to spoil the whole movie, by the way. So if you want to watch the movie, just watch the movie. You should watch it. It's good.
No, it's disgusting. You'd be better off watching my movie instead.
She holds back the audience reaction until the very end, and you see a lot of people going, oh, this is no good, this is making me uncomfortable, as these girls are doing increasingly provocative and increasingly sexual dance moves, almost to the point where it starts to feel surreal when they're like wiping their hands on their crotches, I think from the back, if memory serves. I'll have to watch it again and again and again. So
that right there is showing me that you must be a pedophile. That, or you've probably did this video all for views. Maybe this is a prank video, and we're all falling for it. However, just like what was said about the wrestling otaku, there's nothing funny about pedophilia. So I find it very difficult to be funny.
Discussion piece, it's pretty interesting. I think that it does give you a lot to talk about and a lot to think about, and it doesn't exactly tell you where to land on how appropriate this dancing is. How do we, children are horny, little girls are horny, and they want to express that.
What little kid you know that are very horny at that age? What little kid you know dresses and acts like horny freaks? What on earth is your ass talking about, Ace? I have seen hundreds of kids while saving the world alone, and I have never seen any kid act like this in reality. The only way I can see this happening is if the parent or legal guardian isn't doing their damn job and making the kid act and behave like a kid should be like. Yes, little kids may have their crushes, and may even start to have puberty around the age of 12. Yes, you may be correct on children being a tad bit horny. However, there is no normal functioning kids from any part of the world that acts like this. This isn't cute or adorable. This is literally little girls dressing like they're adult dancers. This isn't excusable. So stop trying to make it seem like it is excusable.
And we aren't sure how to handle that kind of graceless transition from being 9 to being 13 or 14 or 16. And this film is all about zooming in on that.
Or how about the parent or legal guardian step in and talk to the kids about sex, puberty, etc.? That would be a hell of a lot better than trying to make kids do all of this like is shown in this garbage movie.
And kind of asking us all what we are doing to participate in this, encourage it, discourage it. It's all shown. So there are characters who ignore her sexuality, like her father. There's a scene where she tries to strip for her father to get him to give her his phone. She steals his phone and she's trying to get him to let her keep it. She starts taking her pants off, and he ignores it and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She responds by taking a picture of her vagina. She responds by taking a picture of her vagina and posting it on Instagram, which we'll get to later. We have characters basically shunning her. Her great aunt and her mother basically do like this exorcism thing where they're trying to like cast her sexuality out of her. Even the girls themselves freak out about their own sexuality in a way where one of the girls finds a condom and is pretending, she thinks it's a balloon. She blows it up and is pretending it's her breast. And then the other girls realize that she's playing with a condom and they say, "It's going to give you AIDS, you're going to die." And then they start scrubbing her tongue with soap. And it's like, it's just a great metaphor for the way that kids want to be sexual and are all about it.
Again, what kind of kid behaves like this in real life? What kid would have access to condoms and even know what a condom is at that age? What kid would feel comfortable to strip in front of their parents just to get their phone back? What kid would be comfortable to show their privates online? These are questions I want to know, Ace. I have never heard any child behave like this, all because they want to express themselves in a nasty, sexual way. Again, the parent or legal guardian should step in and have a serious discussion about these kind of things with the kids. This movie showing kids scrubbing that little girl's tongue with soap and water. What kid does that? Most kids wouldn't even act like this. Children knowing what are AIDS. Kids have no business knowing those kind of things yet until they reach an older age when sex and more serious relationships starts to being involved.
And then the like real nitty-gritty of sex, the scary parts, are like way too overwhelming and terrifying. And it's like a playing with fire thing. So it kind of gives you this jumbled portrait of all the different ways that we respond to the sexuality of young girls. And it juxtaposes these amazing scenes where it's like you'll see the girls playing on a bed where they're stuffing gummy bears in their mouths and they're just totally children. And then you'll see them shaking their booties on this stairway as they make this this viral video. And they're pretty hot.
Okay, that confirms it. You are a pedophile, you sick fiend. You are way too old to be lusting over little 12-year-old girls, despite them dancing sexual. It isn't supposed to be this way. Oh, I bet your disgusting ass was masturbating off to scenes like them dancing on the stairway. Very seductive. These kids will grow up just like that Cash Me Outside girl, and soon grow up to be horrible adults at an early age. Again, where are these little girls' parents? And why the fuck are you sitting there having sexual feelings over this? You are disgusting.
And you know, you can say whatever you want about me. It's not my fault. I didn't make them do that. They did that.
Somebody in the comment section said it as well. That is exactly what groomers and people caught having sex with children say. Here's another comment I agree with. The only time you can like minors is when you are another minor. If you're over the age of 18, then it is disgusting to think 11-year-olds are hot. Dude, you are literally advocating about little girls doing sexual stuff and finding it hot. Why can't you go and watch women who are 18 years old or older doing stuff like that on TikTok or on porn sites for adults like a normal human being who is horny and alone would? There's plenty of women 18 years old or older on the internet. Go masturbate to them. not to a movie about 12-year-old girls in short denim shorts dancing sexually. You are a legit sexual predator, and I hate sexual predators that prey upon little kids. Why can't you just get women that are of legal age?
That's the point. That's the whole point of the movie, is that you're supposed to be sitting there thinking, look at the blonde one. You're supposed to be sitting there holding these two thoughts in your head, and one that these are kids, and the other that they're hot.
No. No, you are not, you fucking weirdo. If that thought of sexual fantasies start popping in your mind while watching stuff like that, then you need help. You should be disgusted and alarmed at stuff like this. You as a grown man should be appalled at stuff like that, not aroused at it. You are a sick fiend. No wonder majority of people have thumbed down this video. I see now. God. You are just nasty and a freak.
And, I don't even know if you're supposed to be comfortable with that. It's more like you're just supposed to be informed that you are capable of that.
I don't know about you, Ace, but I know damn well that I would not feel comfortable watching stuff like that. If you are contemplating on either you should feel informed or aroused at that, then that is the signs of something is seriously wrong here.
And that you feel that way. And, I already knew that, but I think it's a good thing to put that out there. Artistically, I think it's a good thing.
No, a good thing is to actually seek some help mentally. This isn't normal behavior that you are displaying. This is behavior of a pedophile, and you really need to go get some help, Ace. Your ass is just disturbing and creepy as you keep defending this movie.
Now, is it exploitative? Yes, definitely. These kids are 11, so they don't really understand what they're doing. I made a porn last year, and I feel like I didn't understand. I feel like nobody. Should it be illegal? No, definitely not. It's not porn.
Just because it isn't porn, that doesn't mean it's not shady and creepy. I feel you, and that French woman who created this movie are both hidden sexual predators. Just because you never touched a little kid physically, but you find them attractive. That is still gross and very sick.
Should parents allow their children to be in films like this? I don't know.
Well, I do know, and I say no. The parents should keep their children away from subjecting themselves as these weird sexual hyper-horny dancers that attracts people like yourself. If they do, then that may explain the judgment of those parents of these kids.
I kept thinking about if I had a daughter, whether I would let her be in this movie. And either way, your daughter's going to hate you, right? Later, she's going to hate you.
You would be a terrible parent. I can see it now. A child should enjoy their childhood as much as they can when they're a certain age. If they so-called hate you for not being in movies like this, and letting them decide on their life choices at a very young age without your guidance, then they most likely will understand when they get much older and mature. This is inviting a bunch of pedophiles to swoon over your children.
So she'll hate you for squandering her career by not letting her be in this really good movie. It's well written and really well acted, and I assume career launching for most of the girls in it.
If you are only thinking about the money behind it and not the morality behind this situation, then you're even more fucked up than I've originally thought. I'd rather have a child that isn't famous but has a good head on their shoulders than to have a child who is vastly famous but their mind is very destructive and could affect them in the future. Money cannot buy certain things, and one of them is love. If you love and care for your children, then you wouldn't even think about putting your child in movies like this. There's plenty of children actors that were mentally ruined as young actors over the years in Hollywood. That is why whenever kids become famous, the parents are still there with them to coach them behind the scenes, and at home. This movie is a joke.
Or she's going to hate you for exploiting her. Because, like, child actors, most of their parents are pushing them to do it. So I don't know. Like, if you have a daughter who's 11 and likes doing sexy TikTok dances where she's shaking her ass all the time, and then some well-meaning and I assume not creepy filmmaker comes along and they're like, I'd like to pay your daughter to shake her ass. I guess I would say yes, but I would say it with the knowledge that she's going to be really pissed off about it later, and that we'd probably have a lot to talk about.
Again, there shouldn't even be a discussion about this between your child and yourself about something like this. This is to protect her from creeps like you seem to be. If you are a good parent, then you will know that putting your son or daughter in a movie like this will do nothing positive for them, except revenue-wise.
It would not be a comfortable yes. So the movie itself, what's the movie actually about? Well, this poster is very misleading because there's not that much dancing in it, actually. The movie is about a 11-year-old Muslim girl whose father has just met and gotten engaged to a second wife, and her mother is crushed by this. And it's really a scathing critique of Islam for about the first half, and the role that women are forced to play in Muslim families and societies. So this girl, seeing that her mother doesn't even really buy into the idea of her father having a second wife, and seeing the heartbreak and on a basic total second-class citizen stature of women in Muslim societies, is horrified. But she's in Paris, so she sees her neighbor is doing these sexy dances in the laundry room, and she starts getting involved with this neighbor girl and their group, and flips out way in the opposite direction. And then for the rest of the movie, she's basically going back and forth, witnessing the atrocities in both styles of life. And if the movie has a point, I think it's just that you can leave your cult.
Look, I won't discuss religion on here. However, a child has no place to decide on either being a religious person or being this hypersexualized dancer. This is borderline being a stripper at this point in this movie, for goodness sake. Are you kidding me right now? Being in a cult is no better than being a sexual dancer at a young age, and heading down a slippery slope of being a sleazy tramp that could ruin them as they get older.
Without joining another. So at the end of the movie, her family's trying to pressure her to go to this wedding, and her dance friends are pressuring her to perform at this event. And midway through the event, she has this breakdown and leaves and rushes home, and her family berates her, or her great aunt berates her, and her mother's kind of stepping in the way and defending her, and telling her to get ready to go to her father's wedding. And there's this like horrible, terrifying shot of her seeing her father's new wife, which really freaked me out, and I'm sure has something to do with both of my parents remarrying and me being horrified.
Of all the things that could freak you out in this movie, it was this scene. Really ace. But if it was the scene of the little girls wearing sexual outfits, then you would love that, wouldn't ya? I'm going to skip ahead and cut the time off and get to near the end. I cannot stand watching this person anymore.
And it just shows you the repression and what it must be like to be aware that you're turning into a forbidden, dirty, disgusting, hated, awful creature as you're a girl going through puberty, and there's nobody there to make room for that.
Listen, I understand what you're saying here. However, why must this movie try to paint little young girls as these very attractive dancing bombshells to an audience that is adults? The message I'm getting from this movie, from this review, is that it's best to escape oppression and live your dream as a dirty little dancer for adults at a young age. I could be wrong on this feeling, but if that is the summary of this movie, then this movie is so corrupted and foul. Besides, I don't know if there is any kid that would act this way if the child wasn't being guided enough to a right direction. If children are horny, they won't understand it at first, or just masturbate. How is dancing sexual is going to cure the sexual urges? The parents are in the wrong for not sitting down with these girls and having a long discussion and understanding them and their problems.
There are people to take advantage of it, or there's people to shame you and be disgusted by it. But through the whole movie, there's no mentor. The best she gets at the end is from her mother, basically just saying like, "I'll just stay out of it." And you know, I won't kick you out of our house. That's the best you're gonna get.
Then the mother should be very ashamed of herself. A caring mother would actually step in and do something about this and talk to her child before it's too late.
So if I had one criticism about this movie, it would be that it should have been a documentary. I think you can find girls who are dancing like this, and even in competitions, probably, or something close to it. And I think it would have been less exploitative and more powerful to show, and I mean, obviously it'd be a lot more work to try to gain access to families like this. But if you can show that conflict and show this transformation, you could say most of the things this movie says, I think almost better, and in a way that would actually be more ethical if it were real, which is usually probably not the case with movies. And I think it would have been more powerful because it's like, you know, anything I got from it, a lot of it is things I already think, so it kind of helped me ruminate on beliefs I already have. But, you know, if you're probably more conservative and you go through life thinking, no, girls are not sexual, girls are cute, and then when they turn 18 then they become sexy, or whatever, I don't know, whatever bullshit you tell yourself.
What the hell does politics have to do with pedophilia or over-sexualizing little kids? This is a morality thing, nothing to do with politics. This is so wrong and a giant mistake on all fronts. As far as your point on this being a documentary instead of a movie, well, it wouldn't even make much of a difference, because if the documentary was made to glamorize little young boys or girls acting like this, then it still would have been disgusting. If this sick French woman really wanted to make this movie work, then she could have just painted this movie in a more serious note and get rid of the sexual parts. That or make the girls dancing sexually look bad.
I could see how, I'm empathizing with you. I can see how you would view this as just like, no, why are you making kids sexy? That's weird. This is just your sick fantasy. This isn't real. And if it is real, it shouldn't be. You know, kids shouldn't be doing this, and you're part of it. Whereas if it were a documentary, it might be more powerful in illuminating something that's already happening without the film itself being accused of creating it or encouraging it. So I probably would have rather seen that, but it's a good movie. Pushes boundaries, made me uncomfortable, which is not that hard to do, but appreciated when it's done in an intelligent and interesting way. And I guess that's pretty much it. It's nice to see a kindred spirit out there poking the bear, asking tough questions, and making people feel sexually weird. And I'm excited to see what she comes up with next. And thanks for watching my video.
So it made you feel uncomfortable. You are giving me mixed messages, you creep. You can't say, "This movie makes me feel uncomfortable," and then say, "I found it hot." Dude, there is nothing sexy about little kids dancing or dressing suggestive. This review was terrible, Ace. You came off like a damn pedophile in this video? No, this movie isn't poking any damn bears. This is just over-sexualizing little girls to lure in creeps like you or otaku to support it. If you was uncomfortable while watching it, then why do you want to keep watching something that makes you feel a certain negative way? This is like me saying, getting punched by the Hulk physically hurts me, but you know what? I'm going to keep letting that guy slug me as hard as he can. You deserve all the negative comments, and all of the thumbs down. Why couldn't you masturbate to normal full-grown women? There's plenty of female superheroes such as myself, Storm, Jean Grey, Wonder Woman. Why little girls ace? Just why? Cuties seems like a disgusting movie, and this review sucked badly. That is all for now. Villains, expect me.